So Detective Pikachu is finally out, and since I've already made a, video games in real life video before, I figured may as well do another one. And it's been a little while since my last video, so why not? It fits what's going on right now. So we're gonna go with top Pokemon to have in real life, and this is just me and my opinion, and because there's so friggin' many of them, especially with the Gen 8 coming out soon, we're gonna make a couple rules. One, we're gonna do Gen 1. Yes, we will address everything else. We'll address all the other generations later, but we're gonna stick with Gen 1 just for the moment. 2, we're gonna have 6 Pokemon, because thematic, why not? And one of those is gonna be a starter, so deal with it. And lastly, obviously no legendaries, because once we do eventually get into those later generations, things are gonna get really broken really fast. Looking at you, Polka and Dialga. So without further ado, these are my top 6 Pokemon that I would love to have in real life from Generation 1. Yeah, let's do it. Let's start this off by getting the starter Pokemon debate done and over with right off the bat. For me, personally, the choice has to be Blastoise. Aside from just the fact that it is, quite frankly, my favorite Pokemon of all time, it's also beefy as all hell. I'm also a sucker for water-type Pokemon, and turtles are my favorite animals, so, it's kind of an obvious choice. And whereas, yes, Charizard can fly and light things on fire, and Venusaur can be a plant, being able to surf, as well as the overall strength of this Pokemon, being able to, shoot its water cannons through pure steel, hard to argue with that kind of power. Overall, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the other 2 starters in this generation, it's just Blastoise happens to be my favorite, so that's kind of skewed in its favor. Plenty of Pokemon have weather manipulating moves. All kinds of Pokemon can use things such as Sunny Day, Rain Dance, they can make it hail, all kinds of stuff. But one Pokemon specifically says in its Pokedex entries that it has the ability to outright control the weather, and that would be Dragonair. Good old Miss Wiggles here is capable of controlling the weather more than just being able to use moves. Granted, it's still kind of vague, but still. Also, the fact that it's capable of flight definitely helps it out. It's not the only thing that can fly, but still. Not only that, but its size and elegance are just, quite frankly, neat. And let's be honest, who would want to fly a bird around instead of a dragon? So, yeah. Going with Dragonair on this one. For this one, we're gonna have to make some guesses and stipulations because we don't exactly know the full capabilities of it. And that would happen to be Porygon. According to the Pokedex entries, it's capable of moving freely through cyberspace, but what does that even really mean? The internet's not really displayed in Pokemon that much, so what? The assumption I'm making is that it's able to go into the internet and do stuff. I don't know. I'm certain for anyone who spends a lot of time on the internet, this thing could potentially be extremely useful, but again, I'm kind of writing a blank check here. I don't know what exactly those uses would be, but this is the internet I'm talking to right now, so I'm sure you guys have your own ideas. Next up, we have one that I'm sure everyone is probably going to see coming, but not for the same reasons. And that would be Ditto. Yes, Ditto can transform into any other Pokemon, and that would kind of be cheating the rules, and I get that. But that's not why it's here. See, people tend to forget that Ditto can transform into objects as well, not just Pokemon. It could also potentially turn into people. The capabilities of what this Pokemon can turn into are, quite frankly, uncertain, but I'm sure it would be handy to have around even if you don't consider the fact that he turned into any other Pokemon. Plus, look at that face. It's so derpy and so adorable, and I just want to give it a hug. Again, we're going to be looking to the anime for this one, and it's questionable authenticity. You remember back when Ash needed to beat Sabrina, so he needed to get a ghost type so that he could fight her psychic types, and he ended up finding a Ghastly and Haunter and a Gengar, and he, died? He straight up has his soul plucked out of his body, wanders around as a freaking ghost and then gets put back in like nothing ever happened. So, yeah, that's the thing that happened. So because of this, I'm gonna have to pick Gengar. Granted, I don't think that dying is inherently a good thing, obviously not, but if you're capable of using this Pokemon to leave your body for a short period of time to go, prank your friends or just do weird random stuff, I don't see the downside of this. If you're only out for a couple minutes, you should be fine, right? My number one Pokemon for Gen 1 is gonna be probably a surprise to a lot of people. I know that everyone has their own opinions and viewpoints, and everyone's got their own way that life works out, and I'm sure that will influence everyone else's decisions. Let me know in the comments below. But at the same time, I don't think people are going to expect this one. There's one Pokemon that really stands out to me as freaking adorable, despite the fact that some people are a little concerned by it. And no, I'm not talking about Mr. Mime. I mean, I'm glad that it doesn't look like a crazy sociopath, but it's not him. I mean, look at this! How could you not love it? Imagine what it looks like when it's evolved. That's right, frickin' Wigglytuff. Judge me. I love this Pokemon. It's adorable. It's got its capabilities in-game and in the manga and in the movies and in the anime. Overall, this is a good Pokemon in terms of battle capabilities and whatnot. But one of the key things here is I'm a person who has problems sleeping. So if you tell me that I can have a Pokemon that will help me get to sleep and stay asleep and have a full night's rest, because look at the anime, that's what happens every freaking time. Everyone wakes up fully rested. There was a whole freaking episode dedicated to that. Yeah, I'm gonna pick that. And honestly, if I was getting a good night's sleep, I would have had a video out much sooner than this one came out, because let's be honest, it's been a little while. And aside from using it as a sleep aid, the thing is adorable. It's fluffy, it's soft. Why would you not want one of these? Plus, if you really want to get into its capability to fight, it's got a pretty good variety of moves. I mean, how many people are going to expect this thing to drop a Thunderbolt down on your head? Not many. It's so adorable, you don't expect that. So, more for personal reasons than anything else, the number one Pokemon, if I had to pick, it's gonna be Wigglytuff. I love this thing. Well, that's finally over. That's my thing, that's my list. Thank you for watching to this point. I mean, obviously, otherwise you wouldn't be hearing me say this, but hopefully in the future, it won't take so long to make new videos, but if you hit the subscribe button, you'll know exactly when they come out. Yay! Interested to see what everyone else thinks about this subject. I know I'm not the first person to cover it, but yeah, let me know. Leave a comment. Do it. We will eventually get to Gen 2, and then 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and 8, but that's gonna happen over a while. That's not gonna be anytime soon to cover all of them. Yeah. So, yeah, there's a like button, give thumbs up, that stuff. I mean, it's the usual YouTube stuff. You know what to do. If you want. I mean, yeah, whatever. So yeah, see you guys for the next video.